Welcome back, Hononegah Honors, Algebra 2. Section 7.1, today we're going to talk about inverse variation. So classifying something as a direct variation or an inverse variation. And so this page probably isn't the best one, but there's two types of variations that we're going to deal with. The first one is a direct variation. I'm going to write that right here, direct variation. So y equals ax, or sometimes referred to as y divided by x equals a. So those are two different ways of doing a direct variation. And the a value is a constant, a non-zero constant. So when you have a direct variation, you're basically taking y divided by x. Now, when you have an inverse variation, again, two different ways of looking at this. Y would equal a divided by x, or you can also look at it at x times y equals a constant. So again, those are two different ways of looking at this. So a direct variation, y divided by x equals a, and for an inverse variation, x times y equals a. So I like looking at the second one more than the first one. But again, you can look at it either way. So those are the two things, looking for a direct and an inverse variation. Now notice there's nothing being added or subtracted. There's just a constant value. So the first thing I'm going to say is it a direct or inverse variation or neither? So in the first one, x times y equals a constant. That is an inverse variation, looking at the above, or looking at what we just did on the previous page. You're not allowed to add or subtract anything, so that is a neither. And now, again, whichever way you want to look at it, I like solving it for the value. So I solved this for 2. And so y divided by x, that is a direct variation. General y equals ax is a direct variation, can be rewritten, and I already did this, of y over x equals a. And then same thing, I already did this, x times y is equal to a. So I'm going to use that when I'm trying to establish what is the constant. So the next page says, tell whether the x and y show a direct or inverse variation. So this is on your test. I need to decide if this is a direct or inverse variation. So take your x and your y and see if it's a constant value every time. For instance, if I multiply these two together, I get negative 12, negative 12, negative 12, negative 12. So x times y equals negative 12. Is that a direct or an inverse variation? That is a inverse variation. So now, if I multiply, like 2 times 24 is 48, 4 times 16 is 64. So it's not multiplying together. What if I took y divided by x? So 24, again, going back to the previous slides, right here. So y divided by x or x times y. So I'm looking for either one of these situations, either y divided by x or x times y equals a constant. So if I multiplied, I get 48, 64, 72, and 32. So it's definitely not x times y. Dividing. So y divided by x is 12. Whoops. Sorry about that. Y divided by x is 12. Y divided by x is 4. Y divided by x is 2. Y divided by x is a half. So that's not a constant. So this one is a neither. It is not a constant value. Not a constant value for y divided by x or x times y. So this is neither. Sorry, I dropped my pen. Multiplying, y times x. I get negative 80. Next one's negative 45. So it's not y times x. Y divided by x, negative 5, negative 5, negative 5, negative 5. So y divided by x is equal to negative 5. So that is a direct variation. The variables x and y vary inversely. So right there, pause right there. X and y vary inversely. So I know that x times y equals a. Keep going. Y is equal to 8 when x is 4. So when x is 4 and y is 8. So the a value in this case is 32. Then write an equation. X times y equals 32. There's your equation. Then find y when x is negative 16. So it all starts off with knowing that an inverse variation is x times y equals a. They're going to give you information to find a, which then lets you write an equation, which then lets you solve a situation. Next one. The time t that takes a group of roofers to roof a house varies inversely with the number of n roofers. So I have t and n inversely. So t and n equals a. So again, inversely. It takes 4 roofers 9 hours. So 9 hours, 4 roofers. So the job takes 36 hours 36 hours. So the equation is t times n equals 36. So now they're giving me a variety of n's. So if n is 2, 18. If n is 6, 6 hours. If n is 9, 4 hours. If n is 12, 3 hours. Think about that. If I can do my entire yard in 4 hours, but then my wife and I do it together, and assuming that we are working at the same speed, okay, we split it in half, and now it's going to take us 2 hours each. If 4 people do it, so I got my 2 daughters to do it with me, now it's going to take each of us an hour to do it. So again, taking a job and dividing it up amongst people. I'm sure some of your family members or mothers or fathers or somebody in your family has once said, well, this can all be done faster if we all do it together. What happens to the time as it takes the roofing house as the number of roofers increases? More roofers, less time. Your homework assignment is out of the book. Again, just one more time talking about this, an inverse variation versus a direct variation. If you have any questions, please make sure you talk to your teacher, and good luck.